Hello and welcome to the next installment of the Affliction series from the lupusproject.org. At the Lupus Project, we explore how you can use the lessons of affliction to enhance your New Testament practice. At the lupusproject.org, the narrow path practice categorically rejects any and all assertions that existing scripture is or was somehow insufficient, lacking, or misunderstood. This practice exploits the reality that New Testament instructions are, in key areas, far more literal than commonly interpreted. It's this use of literalism in key passages that has the effect of shifting experiential events from some unspecified future time into an intensive now time. This practice is both empowering and challenging. The narrow path practice relies on lessons learned from enduring long-term affliction, which equates an experiencer with an emotional 0 point. This is what I call resoluteness, or in biblical terms, the rock. It's a state of unwavering emotion that people not enduring affliction generally will not understand. We're going to use the language of affliction to help people understand why there is absolutely no conflict between Matthew 7:14 and Matthew 11. In Matthew 7, we're talking about how narrow is the gate and difficult is the way which leads to life, and there are few who find it. Yet in Matthew 11, we were hearing about how my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Is this a conflict? No, it's not, and I'll explain why. While pain and suffering taught me that my formal education did not, is the transformational language of affliction. Not many people know this language today because we stopped letting the New Testament teach this language the easy way. I learned God speaks very clearly in that visceral language amplified by suffering, and what we're challenged to do then is to understand how to communicate in New Testament practice in such a way that amplifies that same language in those with no source of physical suffering to fuel it. In this way, a practice emerges that very simply and without drugs delivers an antidote to much of the emotional or mental suffering we see all around us. Experiencing these diseases is a lot like being dissolved alive in acid. Bit by bit, piece by piece, joints are destroyed by an inverted immune system that inflicts burning, stinging pain with each molecule destroyed. It's as merciless as it is ruthless. Life becomes a circular room where all doors lead to the same torture chamber and no amount of begging or pleading will stop it. The physical pain, often outside of joint pain, is so great that at times I would gladly blind myself with steroids to escape it. Inflammation in my chest would sometimes make breathing nearly impossible. What this does is strip a person down to their life energy. And there I found a source of offsetting emotion, which I call resoluteness, or the Bible calls the rock. So the great news is that the resoluteness can overcome all of this isn't unique to me. We all have it. What you're not taught is how to find it, access it, use it, and bring it to life. And that is the specific focus of the lupusproject.org. So we break this conflict with personal relationship, which is just an acknowledgement that you have that same transformational energy language of affliction already within you. As a roughly 9-year practitioner of applying resoluteness in biblical context, I want to warn you as clearly as I can that people are working overtime to gaslight you into believing otherwise. As a 17-year experiencer of affliction, I can tell you these initially counterintuitive exercises get easier and easier. In a short period of time, you'll learn how to leap fear barriers like an Olympic hurdle or running a race. Because your words and actions amplify resoluteness or they amplify chaos, words and actions are not inconsequential or random. The more your words equal your prayers, the more a practitioner will begin to draw from that transformational energy that you've been accustomed to thinking you're separate from. This narrow path practice recognizes that the experience of entering the kingdom is not an experience reserved for the dead about to be buried. To us, and the Lupus Project, to myself in particular, this is a perfectly normal, perfectly natural experience that takes place during your life on earth, not after it's over. And a personal relationship with resoluteness is the facilitator to making this happen. So thank you once again for tuning into the Lupus Project. We're going to continue this series, talk about how you can use these lessons of suffering to enhance your New Testament practice.